Okay, guys, I don't have any makeup on today, but anyway, I just came out the shower, and I just wanted to thank you all for your review. Somebody commented on my last uh, review that I had on that video I had about um, how much you help someone, but it's not enough. I know that's not the total title, but and I was going to give them a shout out, and I could not pull them up on my phone. It has to recharge, so it's going through something. And the other thing I'm dealing with is my tripod is not working. I'm not able to. I'm not able to screw my tripod on my camera right now. I don't know what's wrong with it. It won't screw on. Anyway, so my hand is just going to have to get tired holding this camera up on its own. But I wanted to thank everyone for listening to that last video I had. I was really in a distress situation. Sometimes when I get out the shower, I'm so dehydrated. I have to drink water. Um, so anyway, yeah, I was in such a distress state. And that's when I decided to make the video, just to get or vent from what I was going through. Um, and it helped a little bit. And then I sat down and prayed, really hard to get me through the future days that I'm dealing with. Right now, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to uh, relocate out of state or just relocate to another township. I don't really know. But I want to get some debt off of me right now. I've been watching a lot of Dave Ramsey, and he makes a whole lot of sense as far as that goes. But when I do it, I'm going to have, I'm going to be free of everything that I'm going through as far as the debt. We all have got debt, but he makes a lot of sense about getting your debt off of you. We have a bad understanding of what credit cards are. And by me listening, truly listening to how he, uh, how he sees the debtor with credit cards, we have this understanding, oh, we should at least have at least one credit card. You hear people say that all the time. If you have a credit card, then at least in case of an emergency. But the way I understand it now is that that's us using that as a cop out. If we're holding on to a credit card because we're so used to or being brainwashed in this world to think that we need to have a credit card or more, by letting go all those other credit cards, we're saying, okay, I get it that we shouldn't be in debt with all those credit cards because they do overwhelm you. And then before you look up, you have more debt along with those credit cards and personal loans too, because that's right up there, to the point where once we get ourselves our bills down from those credit cards and personal loans we may have taken out, we feeling a little bit better, but we really haven't got the mindset to let them go. Is because it's become a part of us. And so that's where people feel like, well, I need to hold on to one. But if you're holding on to one credit card, then what's happening? You still got debt on you that you are creating once you're ready to pull that credit card off the shelf and use it. It really is not your money. You are borrowing that money from the credit card. So that's like a personal loan as well, or whatever you need that credit card for. Then most times we don't pay it off. We pinch off of it and pay them in minimum payments, which they charge us for the interest on top of that. So now, if you borrow $500 off the credit card, you owe perhaps 10, especially for those who have a high interest rate on the credit card. It's not worth it. If you want to have an emergency fund, which I do agree that it is good to have an emergency fund, then save it and put that away. if you keep it in a savings account or if you keep it wherever you keep it, as in security box or whatever, hold on to it, but do not put it on a piece of plastic. It is not your money. Once you do that, it belongs to the creditor who is letting you use the money that you have saved up to put on that credit card. Now it's theirs. So I get all of that, and that's what I'm working down to get out of my life. I went from 4 credit cards this time because I really had myself in a big mess the last time, which was some years in my 20s, and my credit was where I was able to apply for several credit cards. I'm not even going to give you the number. I'm not embarrassed of stuff like this no more, but it's just, but it was ridiculous. And then I wasn't even making as much as I make now. And that was really making it difficult, too, to pay off the little ones that I had. And then I ended up having to file bankruptcy. So, there you have it. But anyway, I paid those off. And I don't know how many years later, I had did so well not applying for credit cards because I knew where I was before, but apparently I did not get my mindset right about not using credit cards, because here I am, I ended up right after COVID applying for one, then I applied for another, then I applied for another. Before I know it, I now have, well, I then had 4 credit cards. And then I started to notice, okay, I wrote everything down on paper, what I was paying for, and then I said, okay, now I gotta pay these things off because I cannot move forward in my life with these credit cards. Plus I already had other debt, living in the house. You got your utility bills, you got the mortgage, you got your car note, whatever else, and I got a little bit of a student loan left from years ago. I need to focus on that and get that paid off. So that's what I'm focusing on doing. So now I'm down from 4 credit cards to 2. It felt good. I called the creditors. Hold on. I called the creditors, and they will do everything in their power to convince you to hold on to them. Hey, can we give you, can we increase your line of credit? Then I cannot believe I almost agreed to that. But one of the creditors said, whoa, wait a minute, no, I better not do that. No, please cancel it. And then I think I asked them to do that 2 to 3 times as if she didn't hear me. Their job is to keep you and keep you in debt is what it is. But I held my ground, and I called that day. I was able to pay them off, and that's because I did use the method of the smallest credit card, pay that off, and then pay off the other one after you pay that one off. So I was able that day. I think I worked really hard for that paycheck and got, worked a few extra days is what I did, a few extra hours. So my check was big enough for me to focus on to pay those 2 off. So I canceled them and I cut them up, and that felt so good. So now I'm down to 2 more. One of them is smaller than the other, and as soon as I get an opportunity, which between now and maybe next month, I am going to cancel that one out too, and cut it up. And then that'll leave me with the last one to work on, which is not that big, but because I have other debt, it's hard for me to focus and throw all my paycheck on that one. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's just, your money just don't stretch like that. So, but that's how I'm going to get them down and paid off, these last 2, and then I will never apply for them again. And then I will focus on getting me an emergency fund to create my my security, So that's what it's all about. Is as we get older, we want to make sure we got a little security in case of an emergency, not a credit card in case of an emergency. Most of all of us in America are in debt with these credit cards, and we're trying to either be fancy pants or impress people with them, and just put it on plastic, whatever. But I noticed too, like I watch some of these videos, if you focus on using more of your own cash rather than a credit card, which is swiping over and over again, you really focus and able to see your money and where it's leaving your pocket better than just using that credit card, because you don't think about it. You just put the credit card in, hope it's enough to pay for the product that you're buying, and then off you go. But if you have 50 bucks in your pocket and your bill is, this is just an example, and your bill is $25, and you take out that $50 bill and put it in the slot in order to get your change back, well, you know you got $25 coming back, and you're more mindful of what you have left rather than using a piece of plastic. You guys should try that, because I have done it, and it does work. And then you're basically saying to yourself, okay, this is all I got left. Wherever your destination is next to go to spend that last little bit of money or not, you might choose to either go back home or either go ahead and know when you go into the next grocery store or the next store, you know that you only have so much left, so you can now just fill up your cart. Anyway, I'm doing all of this, and it makes me feel real good to get these things focused on. So like I said, once I get these credit cards down, then my little student loan is the next thing. I'm gonna just tackle it with a vengeance, just like Dave said. If any one of y'all know Dave Ramsey, you know I've been using, you could tell I'm using some of his terms that he used, as well as I really believe in what he says. He's very true on what he's talking about. The other thing I wanted to talk about, me making a homemade pizza. I like pizza. There's a couple of dishes that I have in mind that I want to make. If anybody know me, they know I like to be in my kitchen. I like to cook a little bit because it kind of gives me peace of mind. You know, whatever's ailing me mentally, emotionally, or physically, it just gives me a little peace to be in my kitchen. It's quiet, and I can just focus on food. I enjoy doing that, and that's just me. The other thing I did, oh, I did too bad. I don't have my tripod, and I'm literally holding my camera up with my hand. I would prefer to have my tripod. I'm going to figure out what the heck happened to it. I've tried to twist this thing on, and it won't twist onto my camera. All of a sudden, it just stopped doing that. I'll figure it out. Something goofy I'm doing with it. I don't know what it is, but... And then, so anyway, I'm going to make a pizza, a homemade pizza. That's going to take a little time because what's new to me is kneading the dough and letting it rise. You know, I really don't think I've used yeast for anything because which you normally would use that in making homemade dough. So that's going to be kind of new to me, but I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to see how it turns out. So I may do that tomorrow and get that video done up. It's going to be kind of fun. And then there's another dish, yakimein. Was another New Orleans dish I want to make. Actually, it's the only New Orleans dish I know of that I want to make. That is so good. I love that. So I'm going to try that out too. But in the meantime, the first dish I think I'm going to tackle is the pizza. And what else? Yeah, so anyway, I've been, talking like, I've been praying a lot, back to what that one viewer had sent a comment in, and I really appreciate her views on that. I think it was a lady. I apologize to you. I cannot think of your email name or your name from which you, but I did send a comment back to you, and thank you for that, because it felt good for somebody to understand where you're coming from. you know, you helping family, and they're not really pitching in, or putting in their help in around the house or whatever. But like I said, I prayed on it, and you know, it was always in the back of my mind about me moving one day, or whether it be to another township or out of state. That's always been in the back of my mind. But I think that's where my thoughts came up about getting rid of my debt too. I don't want to start a new life or a new chapter, as a lot of people say, without making sure I get this debt off of me, get my car payment paid off. I don't have too long to go before I'm done with that. So that's another one I'm you know, really try to make double payments here and there on, and getting that car note off of me and so forth. So far that's going along pretty good. Um, because that's where I want to be, you know, and just peace. You know, not having somebody, you know, just mooch off of me. And even though I don't mind helping, but, you know, if I ask only one thing from you, and that is just to take the garbage out, and that becomes the issue, and you turn that into an argument, there's a big problem. That means if we move into another place together and I'm helping you still, it's going to be that, and it's going to be then some other problems. So I hope the best for him. But anyway, but on my other note, everything I was talking about is all about me right now. And yeah, some lady told me, who I work with that's older than me, she's like somewhere in her 60s. She's told me, when you get in your 60s, for sure you're gonna be, and it may sound bad, but it's true. I can see it. You know, she said you're gonna start thinking more selfish, you know, in a way. In other words, you've done all what you could do, you know, or I mean, not to say that you should stop helping people, but, you know, for those who seem to mistreat you, or those who seem to take you for granted because they expect you to do something for them and you do it, but they don't see themselves returning a favor. Even though I think housework is not a favor. If you living in a house with somebody, that's not no favor. You're supposed to, you know, help out, because we both are dirtying up the place. But I get her point, you know, because a lot of times I think about seeing myself, I visualize myself going on vacations, things I haven't done since I was a child. When my mom was alive, she was doing those things, taking me places. Um, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. But when she got older, she was unable to do those things. She was a single parent, taking care of all of us in the house, and there wasn't a whole lot of us in the house, but she was the only breadwinner, so that had to be hard. Um, and so those like fun things she and I did together had ceased. So when I got to be an adult, um, I didn't really make the money to be able to do that for myself or anything like that. So every blue moon, when I did save a little money, I was able to take myself to Vegas or whatever, and that was a real big treat for me. I've run into people who go on a vacation every year, and it's regardless of the economy, regardless of how bad things are in their household financially, people make a way. And it's hard for a single person who's got a whole house to maintain and take care of, and they got a car note and all that, you know, just to ignore those bills for that month. If you're a person who pay your bills and just go out and just go on vacation, you know, some people do ignore their bills and they live a good life as far as that, but they got to come home and deal with all of that stuff that they behind on with their debt. I don't want to be that person. I want to get my debt off of me so that I can look into my 60s and my 70s and 80s. Hopefully I make it that far and be able to say, yeah, okay, this is me. I'm doing what I want to do. Hold on. Okay, I want to see if my camera is still on. I guess it's still on. Yep, it's still on. Sorry about that. So anyway, I'm about to probably end this, but because my hand is getting tired of holding this camera. But yeah. So I'm feeling pretty good about that aspect. I don't really see the point to sit down and have a discussion with my family member about my plans. Um, I have in the past. I've sat down in my kitchen and talked to him, but I don't think it matters to him. I think in his mind he doesn't see it to be realistic or come to light. But I just think it's kind of unfair how, here I am, I'm helping you out, and this is the route, uh, what can you do? Not a thing. Um, I even gave some thought to possibly, and I know it's crazy to some people, if this is not for everybody, but I thought about living in my car. I don't know. I watch those videos on YouTube, and shoot, there are a lot of black women that do that. And I don't mean no harm. It's not a racist comment. It's just that you don't find a lot of people in my culture that will see themselves living in a small space like that. That's almost like camping for us, because you have to, from what I've seen on some of the videos, the effort that you have to put in to find a place to sleep for the night or park for the night can be scary, dangerous, or whatever. And so, a lot of times nobody in my culture tries, as far as a woman, we don't want to put ourselves out there like that, and I don't know. Just a thought. I'm not saying I'm going that route. Um, I've thought about it. I don't know, guys. I don't know. You stay with this my channel long enough, who knows what you'll see. But in the meantime, my cooking is my biggest thing, and I really, 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 really enjoy doing that. And I probably would really need to have a kitchen in order to feel comfortable in that, a real kitchen. Because I see some of those people in those videos with, them trying to make the little space they have as a kitchen. Anyway, I don't know if you can see my dog down there. Maybe you can. I don't know if you can see her. She's sitting on the floor. I tried to pick her up on the camera, but anyway. Okay. I will be back soon. And when we talk again, I probably will be in the kitchen cooking. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.